Imagine writing the same code for student, product, order, and customer over and over again. That is exactly the problem generics solve. Now, in this lesson, you will learn how professional developers write flexible, reusable, and type-safe code using generics in C#. We are going to build something real that is used in enterprise system application or enterprise application. Now, the thing is this: what is generic? Instead of writing separate logic for every type, generic allows us to write one reusable structure. I'm going to create a class or box. Now, I'll create this class. Let's say this, and then say class, look for class, and let's name it boss. So we have the boss class. So we have the boss class. Now this defines a generic class called boss. Now we are going to do this, then put the letter T there. Now the T means the class can work with any data type. Let's declare something here. Let's come and say, let's just say something like, okay, so let's just say public T and value, public T value, then we say get, then set. Okay, so now this property store a value of type T. T will be replaced by the actual type later. Don't forget this. I'm going to create another method. So let's say public void display. Okay, we say this. Then within our display body, so we are just going to console.writeLine, then we'll say without the value. Don't forget the value. So for you to understand what is going on, here we declare a class called box. Now the T here means this class is generic. T is a placeholder for a type. Don't forget that. Now when someone uses this class, you can replace T with int, string, or any object type. Don't forget. So now let's go to our, don't forget to save. We will go to our program.cs file. So here we are going to create objects of the boss class. So let's say something like box, then the generics, don't forget, we can replace it with any type. So let's use T and int the reference type, and new. Watch my other videos, you will understand what the new keyword stands for. So int and this, then close. Now here we create a box that stores integers. They store integer. Now below this, what we are going to do, we are going to assign. So let's say tboss dot value, so equals to 10. This is very sensitive. Now what we are doing here, we are assigning a value to the box. Now how do we call this? So to call this, we will say int box dot display. Remember the display method that we printed dot display. So then here we are calling the display method. We are also going to create another object again. Let's create another object. Let's say box. Let's just say box, then let's say string, like I said, it accepts any type string, and we'll say string box as the reference name, string box, then we'll say so new, goes to new box. So exactly, so here we create a box for string values as well. Then let's store strings. So how do we do that? We say string box, you see it, this value is there. Now that will be equal to let's just say hello generics. I'm going to use capital letter, hello generics. So hello generics. So now the next thing is, let's display that. So to display that is as simple as this: string box dot display to display that. Now let me explain like the way I explained the other time. Now in this line, we create in this line, we create a box of integer. Notice how we replace the t with int. Now the value property only accepts integers. This is what we call type safety. Don't forget that. Then here we create another box. This time it stores string, same class as well, different type, same class. Don't forget that. Now sometimes we don't need generic class, just a generic method. That's what we need. So basically, I'm going to create another class again. I will create another class. Come here, create class. Then I'm going to name it utility class. So now this is utility class. So basically, this is not generic class like the way we have before. This is another thing entirely. So let's just say public static void print value. Let's print value. Then now the method is going to be what? Generic method. Then we're going to have a generic parameter as value. And we do this. Now this is a generic method. Don't forget, it's a generic method. This prints the value passed into the method console.write value. This is what it does, as simple as what? As ABC. Now let's use this. Okay, so let's just console this so we know what we are doing. So console.write line, and we will say value. Save value. Save value. So let's have something. Now let's go back to our program. Program.cs. So inside our program.cs, inside our main method, inside the main method, we are going to create another once again. So here we'll say utilities. You can see utilities, because it's a static class. It's a static class. You don't need to it's a static method, so we don't need to create object of that class to enable us to use that. We use this method. So what would say utilities? Use the name of the class to call the method. So utility.print value. dot print value. So we will give it int then so we want parameter 100. So then we can also say utility dot print as well, dot print. Then we will say string, don't forget. So let's say C# generics, generics. It's just a fancy name. Just look for a fancy name to give to it. So then let's say utility again. You practice to make sure you get what you're doing. Then so let's say print value. So within this one, I'm going to put another data type called double. Then I will say 89.34. So let me explain. Now the T after the method name, T after the method name makes the method generic. Don't forget, the T after this method name makes the method generics. Now this means the method can accept any type. Instead of writing a separate method for integers, string, and double, we write one reusable method. So you get the explanation that I did previously. Now, why use generics? Why is generic important? Why? Now, some of these things are: one, without generics, you will always be using array list. Array, then list equals to new list, something like that. Between some of these things. Now, don't forget, you must cast value when doing that. When using array list, you must cast value. So with generics, all you need to do is to say list, then angle bracket int, then the name of your list. Then the compiler will work smoothly. We do this in order for us to prevent mistake. Without generics, boxing and unboxing occurs. That means we need to do what? We need to do typing and type casting as well. Now generic avoid this. You understand me? So it's faster for execution. Don't forget. So here, that is all about generic. It's as simple as that. I'm going to from beginning, I promise we are going to do a real life application. So I'm going to create an application, reward example, generic repo. So now we build something professional like a developer used to do as well. Now I'm going to create a class, and okay, so I'm going to create this. Let me create this. Okay, this class. So I'll say generic repository. So you get this. So all you need to do is to make it into generic. So now we have turned it into generic tag. Don't forget. Now this is a generic repo. It's a generic repo. It can work with any entity type. So I'm going to create a list. Let's say private list. Then I'll say items equals to new list. Then I'll close this. So basically I can also import this using system.collection.generics. Most time it just work without, because there are a lot of updates now. Now this This list store object of type T. Don't forget. Now create a method here. I will say public void public void and add public void add, then I'll say T, then item, then this. So I'll say item dot add, sorry, items, yes, so we got it wrong. So item dot add, then we'll say item. Now don't forget, this method is to add an item. Then we are going to create another method that will enable us to get all the items. So I'll come here and say public list, then this T, sorry, yeah, you can still use Y to get all, so we'll just say this. So return items. So now let's go back to our program.cs. Let's use that repo class that we created. Now what we'll do here is we'll create object of the generic repo class. So don't forget generic, it comes already. Then we'll now give the type that we want. It's as simple as this. So we can say student, this is a reference variable, student repo, then new generic. Simple. So I'm sure you got it well. Sorry, the stuff is getting longer, so I need to do this so you will understand what we are doing. So creating repository for student object, that's what we are doing. Then we need to create student object now. How do you do that? Creating student objects. How do you do that? So we can come here and say students. Let's say student. Do we have student class? We don't have student class. What am I creating? Okay, so let's create the student class. Let's fix this. So the type namespace student could not be found. So we need to create a class called student. So let's come here and just say as student. So you see, error has gone. So we can say student, student x1 equals to new equals to new student. Student equals to new student. So this is creating a student object equals to new student. Now this is what we'll do. We'll say, let's just say these are the things we have, these are the field we have inside student, inside our student class. We have new student. If you have been following the class since, you should understand what I'm doing now. So we have John. So this will be an assignment for you. Just go and create the field there. Then add student to repo. You can check all this. So you have so you have this. You can come here, you can come to student and field. So I'll just say public int id. Then don't forget your getter and then set. Don't forget, it's very important. Then you can come here and say public string for the next one, name. These are the fields that are needed for student class to work. These are the things that are needed. So this then set. So we have things like this now. If you go now, the error has gone. The error is no longer there. So we do this. Then the next thing is adding student to repo. How do we add student to repo? So you can always add student to repo by saying student. I think student repo. Student repo dot add this one. That was the reference that we created. Now let's retrieve, and retrieving will be var. Let's use var student. Let's use plural student equals to student repo dot get all students. So in the process, or in the case where you have a lot of students, you can use the for each loop. A for each loop will work well. So I'll say this var student in students, the one with plural students, then print. Then I'll just say print. Sorry, I'm using print. Just say control dot write line. Then I'll say student dot name to print the name of the student. So I guess you understand what we just did. Now basically this repo can now work with any entity. Don't forget, any entity. This repo can work with any entity. You can use it for product, order, and customer. Now it is called one reusable component. Now this is enterprise level design, don't forget. So here are some changes I did. I made it nullable. Then I made the student the name here required as well, so you can see it. Let's run it and see our output. This I'll change to terminal /
Let me just list the file I've changed into my generic folder project folder. And so I'll just run it on the next one. So let's run. So yes, you should see the output. Yes, so it's our output. So practice lesson 11 is a great one. It's an idea we call professional way to do this. Thank you for watching. Subscribe, share, comment, like, and invite people to learn. Don't forget, practice. Thank you.